Okay, I was thinking, what will ever happen if I removed gacha from gacha games? Will the game actually be way better or just flop? And if you want to know how I thought about this, I was basically taking a shit. You know, this is when you are so creative. I was under the impression that a lot of people say gacha games are mid compared to any other game. Like gacha is always a flop, it's always a bad thing, which was something that I always agree with. But I was thinking, how can we make these games work without the gacha system? And okay, let's think about it. We removed every single banner. We removed the gacha currency. But the thing is, we're not changing the fact that the game is free to play and it's like a live service game. And that's where I found some crazy things. So basically now we have to keep collecting characters and the game keeps updating, but the game also needs to make money. So we will need to add microtransactions. That's something normal. How can we monetize the characters without adding the gacha? You know, like I'm not only talking about pay to win here, because yes, we can add skins in the game, a lot of skins, but I don't think in this game currently or in these games currently is enough. Because if we think about it, we add a lot of skins for characters, but how can we get characters? Like we need to change something so we can make it work. And that's how I thought about it. I think if there is no gacha system, there should be a grinding system that makes you get the characters, because the dailies, which will only give you like gacha currency, are now not giving anything. So now we'll probably rely on drop rates, probably fragments that you get so you can build the character or something like that. So before this, we have to know how many characters should we have per patch? Can we get any character every patch? There's a lot of questions and changes that need to be happen, because if the games you just remove gacha system, nothing will work. It's not that simple. You have to change some things. I'm gonna take Genshin because it has an insane amount of characters. Let's see how we can make characters, like how can we get characters without gacha first. The first thing is, there's two ways. Either every patch you can farm a character and get one dupe from it. I will talk about constellations and how you get them afterwards, but for example, every character needs 30 fragments or 30 puzzles that you need to get, and you can, for example, since we have events in every patch, you can get free 10 of them, and then the 20 others you have to farm them from a other event dungeon or something like that. You don't have to take this, but what I'm saying is we have to have something that gives us the character for free in every patch. There's still some drop chance and things like that, but it should be way better than any gacha system. And the more you farm, if you play the game more, you are guaranteed to get the character. And the thing is, since there is no banners, the two characters are going to be there in the whole patch. Let's say Raiden and Ganyu are in this patch. You can farm for these two for the whole 6 weeks. There's no 21 days for one character. And you have a chance to also get dupes. But since I was thinking about monetization, you still can buy the characters, but no gacha system. Because if you look here, every $100 is like 40 balls. It's insanely low, by the way, except if you didn't top up before. You need between $200 and $400 in the worst case scenario. What about making a fixed price like other non-gacha games? This is how it works there. A fixed price where you can get a character. Let's say, for example, $50. This is still insane for a non-gacha game, but we're transitioning. Okay, let's say $50, like you just pay $50, there's no gacha, there's no chance, $50 will give you the character. You pay $300, you get 6 characters, like if you want to get 6 dupes. And the thing is, if you sweat and go crazy and farm a lot, you can even get 2 characters. There's always a grind. There's always a grind if you like a certain character. If you don't want to grind, $50 is way better than $400, guys. But this is still a hard thing to do, by the way. Yes, I think this might work for 5-star characters, but we still have the problem of 4 stars. I think that we should have 4 stars having less fragments, or, you know, just more chance to get them. It's like taking those gacha banners and making them for F2Ps, but what you should do is, instead of grinding for primo gems and having a certain amount of limit with these primo gems, you can grind as much as you want, and the more you grind, the easier it be to get the character. You might be lucky to get the character from the start, for example. There will be still that luck, but if you grind enough, you also guarantee the character, because in Genshin Impact or in any other game, you can grind enough and 100% everything and get the character that you want only in the initial start, if you have like a whole region that you didn't explore. But if you explored everything everything, that's gonna be done. But what I'm saying here, in every patch there's a new way of farming, let's say a dungeon or something, that if you grind as much as you can get the character, or you can be lucky to get it early, and 4-star characters can be easier. Same thing with 4-star weapons and 5-star weapons, we get them into the same system. This should be a little limited, like you cannot grind enough to get a C6. You cannot get every single 5-star. No, you can get the 5 stars that you want, but now we have something which is the standard characters that are. There's so much possibilities to treat standard characters. First, they won't be the same. Like the roster will basically be bigger, but if a character, for example, has been released from like 2 years, it will join the permanent dungeon. This permanent dungeon, the dungeon that has the limited characters, is probably limited to getting 2 or a maximum of 3 dupes if you grind enough. The limited dungeon is unlimited, so you can go ahead and farm for them, and if you're lucky you can get them from a C6, and now you can get every single old character as a C6 or make them fully powerful as a free to play. But you have to wait for 2 years. This is still a way that makes you wanna pay money. That's basically how it should work because it's a free-to-play game. But here's the problem. There's a big problem here. Like what I'm saying here, I know getting a C6 character and things like that, there's a problem of power. And as you see, we removed gacha, and now we have to change how to get characters. And since we changed how to get characters, now you have to change the whole content in the game. So here's how the content in the game should go. A story and a new zone are phenomenal. We shouldn't change this. A spiral abyss, instead of giving like the gacha, you can give fragments, or it can be something that you farm for weapons, for example. And then the theater lobby, grindable skins. But the skins aren't easy to get as the characters. No, you have to pay like $20 to get the skin or $10. If you don't want to pay them, you can farm, for example, like you can have some 4-star weapons plus the skin. And by the way, I'm not saying that those are the best changes that you can make, because now the amount of end game content that is missing in the game is going to be more focused on grinding a lot. Every single patch you can grind for a character for a long time and get so many rewards other than the character. Problem is, look at how many changes I just made. Now we still have to remove this. We need to remove the risen, or maybe the risen is probably the only thing, or the stamina bar is the only thing that can make you, a little limited, just to make it work more as a, what can I say, it's not gacha, but a Chinese transitioned gacha, because if we remove that, we're just making a looter shooter or a, I don't know, an MMO. Since this is so focused on grinding, we can make it, have more co-op features. But the thing is, if you think now, look at how many changes that we made, guys. This proves that gacha without gacha will kinda be mid. So you have to change them, because Genshin as a core, for example, is a very good game. But to make sure that it works without the gacha system, you have to change a lot of other systems, which is normal. And without the gacha system, I know that these are things that aren't perfect that I said, but I think it's better to have them than having it a gacha system and having to pay for $400 if you wanna pay in the game. And as I said, the systems that I added are just examples. But I think the most important thing is the shop. This is very good. Look, you can buy a skin, Nilo skin. It will cost you like $22. This is what we like. No gacha. You can buy without gacha. And the same with the characters. Characters are $50. I think it's very good. As you see, it's a very hard thing to do. You have to create a game as a core that is not gacha, because this is a little flawed. And now I want you to see and think about it. But I think if we think about it, this is a better way. There's no gambling addiction here. There's more of playing the game more. Or do you have a better system that I talked about? Because I'm pretty sure there is. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. That was the video. Bye bye.